It's Monday on YourView. Welcome to the show. I am Moriah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Toke Makodike. How are you?
Welcome back to the show, BC Obiajulu.
Yeah. I was going to welcome you, don't worry, but you took that spot. How are you doing, Toke?
I'm good. Grateful to God for life, you know. In the course of this year, like 3 of my husband's friends lost their wives just this year. Wow. My friend lost her father. TVC lost one of our drivers, HOD. There's been so many like deaths around that just makes you think about the value of life and for you to appreciate life and consider what really counts in life, you know. So that was my reflection over the weekend. That see, let me check on my families. I cannot say I'm too busy to drive and visit them because I'll now attend the burial when they die. Okay, my aunties and uncles that are old that I haven't seen in a while, suddenly when they die, I'll carry gele and go for the burial, but I didn't check on them while they are alive. So it's just a time to reevaluate that. As much as we're busy running around, we've lost a lot of people that we might not even know. We should check on the ones alive and take care of them, not spending money on burial ceremonies alone.
I agree. Anyways, how are you doing, though, aside from that?
Grateful.
Good. How are you doing, Mariam?
I'm doing good. I thank God. You know, this month I just dedicated it to sort of letting go of all distractions, things that are not so important. You know, many times we make the mistake of thinking we need everything and, you know, anything. Oh, this person has this. It must be important. I must have it, you know. And sometimes then your own real purpose, your own goal that you're chasing becomes, you know, you lose focus of it. So I've been working with Lifestyle with ML community and just trying to see how we declutter everything, not just physical material things, even the things that, you know, on our social media, things around us, friends, acquaintances, people that we know that may need to just we need to step away from, you know, to help us towards for some time, to help us towards our goal or purpose. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm asking everyone to join us, I guess, in the decluttering challenge. Whatever it is, there's a distraction that's not important.
Let it go.
You know, right now, you have a goal, face the goal, and let those things go. I'm there.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You've been gone 2 whole weeks, Johnny. It sounded like you had 2 months.
Oh my God.
Like, don't let us rest on YouTube. YouTube, she's back. Oh.
They kept asking, when are you coming back? We have not seen you on TV.
Yes, some topics that, you know, there's a busy fire. Where is this busy girl? How you doing?
I'm glad you guys missed me, and I really missed you. So the days that I had time to, you know, catch up on TV, I always watch the show, and I enjoyed you people. You held down the fort now. You did amazing. I'm grateful to God. This year started for me on a very high note, like really high note. I had planned my year from December, and from January 3rd, I went straight to work. I was shooting my web series. I had some projects that are coming up. We have the mentorship class that's coming up on the 29th. I had to move it to the 29th because I needed time. So it's been work.
So it wasn't procrastination.
No. Straight up, 2022, we're hitting it.
So Mama Ejire is about to launch.
Yes, Mama Ejire is about to launch.
Fantastic web series, you know.
And there's a surprise in there.
Yes, there is. You want to spill?
No, don't spill. Surprise. Me, I like surprises. Yeah, I like to wait for the surprise. Okay, let's go on a quick break.
Moriah, how are you doing?
Good.
You are looking very, very glam.
Like, I have an important meeting today.
Okay. No wonder.
I must look the parts. To get the check. How do you know? I must look the part. So let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. YourView will be right back.
All right, we're going to start with the nation. Buni APC chiefs in crucial parley on zoning and convention. Government cuts gas price to Gencos. Buhari renews crackdown on bandits ordered to military. Jega urges National Assembly to drop direct primary clause. UK scraps tests for vaccinated travelers from January 26th. Olubadan, high chiefs to debate legal hurdles. And Mali's ousted president dies. Okay, let's start with Buhari renews crackdown. Who has a story?
Yeah. There isn't really much to the story because I checked in the papers to see the details. It's just on the back of all the crisis, the president has given order to all our chief of staff to continue to fight the battle. So I was really looking for something new about it. It's not
something different.
Something different. There wasn't really.
Yeah, so the United Kingdom has said that they will scrap all testing requirements for vaccinated travelers at the end of January, I think January 26th. And they are saying that they had to review everything that's happened, and they realized that most of there are some countries that actually make a lot from tourism, and because of these COVID-19 restrictions, they are not able to travel. And so the few times that they had relaxed it, they realized that a lot of people were coming into the UK. And so right now it's a good thing for them to do, saying that if you are already vaccinated, you will not be doing the test when you come in, you will not be quarantined anymore. You'll not be required to do those tests when you get into the country. However, if you're still unvaccinated at the time you want to get into the UK, you will still have to quarantine, at least in your house, for a few days before you can come in to meet people. So I think we've not had so much deaths from this Omicron variant.
It happens.
Yeah, so people are beginning to see life has to continue anyway.
Get your boosters in a nutshell so you don't get infected.
Okay, I have Jega, the former chairman of INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission. He has asked the National Assembly not to, be moved by all the calls for them to override the president on the electoral bill. And he says that instead the National Assembly should look for ways to give the country a new electoral law going into 2023. He said that, in his words, he says, to my mind, any governor can manipulate indirect primaries under the present condition. Any governor that can manipulate indirect primaries under the present condition will also have the capacity to manipulate direct primary because the register of votes is not there. If you do direct primaries, you must ensure that everybody has a register of voters that is credible, that citizens of Nigeria that are monitoring the election can verify that people who are coming to vote are actually registered members of these parties. So he's saying that instead of just being in this continuous back and forth whether to override the president or not, make sure we get a working electoral law, a new one that will work best and benefit Nigerians.
All right, so if you recall, the ousted president of Mali, Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta, who led the country, was ousted back in 2020. Unfortunately, he died. He had a stroke, and if you recall, he was ousted by the military for forced out, and the story says that he was a president during the period where Islamist elements took over a large area of the center and northern part of Mali, and he struggled really to turn Mali around to make it economically viable country, and many have perceived this failure as in this crisis and alleged it to corruption. So he wasn't really mostly liked according to the papers. That's why the military had to take over at the time. But unfortunately, whilst they're having an interim government at this time, the ousted president died at the age of, I think it was 76. And they're hoping that they can actually restore the country to proper democratic rule, which I think is still ongoing. Moving on quickly now to the Punch. Fuel subsidy crisis. States kick as NNPC continues deductions. FAC meets on Wednesday. Osun prison inmate's wife gives birth to triplets. Family seeks help. I want to mentor Aja Hawker, giving him money to Imbe, says Obikunana. Fares soar. Tension rises as Anambra fumes over Tuesday's IPOP sit at home. NDLA intercepts Kebbi, Kano, bound 1.5 million tramadol, seizes Lagos sports drugs. Supreme Court admits registry's error, reverses 2.4 billion naira ruling against GT Bank. Nnamdi Kanu, Southeast governors, Igbo leaders to meet Buhari, insist on political solution. And Nigeria's debt stock hits 39.6 trillion in 11 months, his reports. Okay, which story are we taking?
We'll take the human interest story. So a 25-year-old housewife, Aminat Abdulatif, recently delivered a triplet at Osun State Hospital Ede on Sunday, and she's calling on well-meaning Nigerians for assistance. She had a chat with the Punch, and she said she delivered the baby through a cesarean session. They had about 55,000 naira worth of bill to pay to the hospital. They had been able to raise 45,000. She still has a balance. The children themselves are very tiny, so they require a special meal, which I think about a tin of the milk, it's about 3,000 naira. They require that. And also her husband, who happened to be a member of a vigilante group, has been arrested since May 13, that they had an altercation in the environment and they called him to come and settle the matter. By the time he got there, he has been arrested. He's still in custody. So he's asking Nigerians and asking the government to release the husband that is innocent of all the charges levied against him and come to her aid to help her raise her children.
Okay, so there was...
NDLEA.
Okay, NDLEA, go ahead.
NDLEA has intercepted a drugs in Edo State. It was a truck that was loaded in Onitsha, Anambra State, and was heading for Kebbi. And in the truck, they found about over 1.4 tablets of, there's tramadol, there's diazepam, they call them psychotropic drugs. And there were arms and ammunition in it. Over 137 kilograms of illicit drugs were recovered during the operations across 7 states. This was Friday that it happened in Edo State. They also talked about drug traffickers who had put drugs in foodstuff plastic containers and were trying to take it out of Nigeria, and they were caught at the Murtala Mohammed airport. There was a 40-foot container from Canada with drugs that they also intercepted at the port. NDLEA report of all that they have been doing, but it just, every time we report it, I'm surprised that people are still going ahead to do this business. I mean, you know that they are right they are catching all of you, and yet this is something that you're doing.
Because they always feel like, I can
get away with it.
So the monetary spirits have monitored that our president and the vice president are yet to tweet since they banned Twitter. So they said in the papers that Buhari and Shibai shunned Twitter 72 hours after ending ban. So according to these monetary spirits, all their aides and special advisors have all started tweeting, except for the president and his vice president. So they are saying, please tweet us. Maybe you have removed the ban.
Let me take the major headlines. So the fuel subsidy crisis is still ongoing. After the NNPC said they will be deducting 270 billion naira from the federal account allocation committee. I mean, they said it would from the federal account. And the governors have said that this is on the committee. Several states have been speaking up against it, that this has been ongoing for a while, that the NNPC isn't a government. They cannot decide how much the subsidy is with nobody checking them. So apparently subsidy is being paid to NNPC, deducted by NNPC for NNPC.
Yes.
So the question is, NNPC is not a federal government. You shouldn't deduct from source because the money comes from you. So before the money is remitted, NNPC takes out what they call subsidy for themselves. Who is auditing? Now, the fact is saying that it's not our job to answer all those questions. That's the government's job. The Ekiti Commissioner for Finance was advising that from their own opinion as the body of commissioners for all the states in this committee, they have said the best solution is the federal government has chosen to continue to pay subsidy. Pay it from your own allocation, the money that should come to you. Don't take from what should come to the states. And isn't it time we remove subsidy entirely? The federal government's reply was that until each state can guarantee that every state can ensure nobody is impoverished or suffers based on removal of subsidy, or be sure that NLC will not go on strike in their states before they can remove subsidies. So, stalemate.
Sounded like you are at the meeting. I'm telling you. I would have thought that you were
because I read the story.
I could tell. Because that you conveyed the meeting. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with the review. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us, starting with Daily Sun. All right, so APC consensus, chair underway. Confusion over sit at home as court rules on Kanu this Wednesday. Insecurity farm streams no longer safe, laments Archbishop Kaigama. Ohaneze to Buhari, tell Kanu, my son, go and sin no more. NDLEA intercepts 1.5 million tramadol tablets going to Kebbi and Kano. Over 3,000 imported vehicles trapped at the Lagos port as VREG platform breaks down. PDP meets on states of the nation 2023 presidency elections. An army chief hails the sun, presses for media cooperation in fight against insecurity. Okay, let me talk about the go and sin no more. So the President General of Ohanes Ndigbo, George Obiozo, stated that they are appealing to the president to use his prerogative. According to him, they understand his principle of separation of powers, allowing the courts to continue with the case of Nnamdi Kanu. However, he has said that the truth is that when you're making an appeal for somebody in Kanu's case, you have to go and not just legally, but also politically, according to Mr. Obiozo. He also said that we are asking the president to apply his power or prerogative of mercy and do something to remove or to stop him from being persecuted. So he said, just like the biblical way, where they say, my son, go and sin no more. Yeah, you can do something. In a nutshell, you can do something now. Yes, we know you're letting separation of powers, but do something. Yeah, the president, you can do something. So that is what he said in a nutshell. Okay, any other story in the Daily Sun?
The Archbishop of Abuja, Catholic Archdiocese, Ignatius Kaigama, was speaking after the remembrance of the fallen soldiers, and he was talking about the fact that we must remember those who've lost their lives in the battle to keep Nigeria safe, but that we must do more to keep Nigerians safe. That he's saying our people cannot go to the farm and go to the stream to fish without fear of being kidnapped in exchange for cash. That even, not just at night, even in broad daylight, people are getting kidnapped within the cities, and that the government needs to do more. And that this is their cost. He reminded the government that it's their constitutional responsibility and challenges them to rise to the occasion. I think that everybody in Nigeria shares that same sentiment about the government doing more to secure lives and properties.
Okay. Yeah, so clearing agents and freight forwarders are decrying over 3,000 imported vehicles trapped at the Tinkan Island Ports Complex, Apapa. According to them, it says due to the collapse of the National Vehicle Registration, the VREG platform, which was created by the Federal Ministry of Finance for imported vehicles. Now, they said that because the platform is down for about a week now, it's very difficult for them to clear their vehicles, and they are incurring, damages. And they said sometimes they have to stay up till the middle of the night, 3 a.m., 2 a.m., just to ensure that they get network to access that platform. And if they don't have it, they are not able to go into the ports to clear their vehicles. So they are appealing and asking that they set up offices close to the port and also in Lagos so that people can raise complaints there and find a way to answer them so that they don't leave those vehicles
just
just
physical
there.
offices to reduce corruption. That's why the
E-reg. But now the network is having issues and people are losing money.
Okay, quickly now, the point or show why APC rule may end with Oyetola. FG shops for 4.13 trillion to tackle power and housing challenges. How I spent over 10 years in Kirikiri prison for attempted stealing, says photographer. And the suspected assassin says he received only 10,000 naira from the murder earnings. But a judge responsible for serial losses of PDP in Lagos says Tokumbo Pierce. Okay, any stories there?
The point, we have a suspected assassin says he received 10,000 naira only from murder earnings. So a 25-year-old man, Wale Ayorinde, in connivance with one Olayemi Abiodun Samson, a 22-year-old, and others who are at large, had robbed a young man and had killed him. They robbed him of his motorcycle. They said they took it away and sold it for 140,000 naira. Ayorinde says what finally got to him was 10,000 naira. He doesn't know how that money was shared amongst all the other people involved. Of course, we know who he blamed, the devil, for, making him do this. He regrets his actions. And, it's just really sad that our young men, when you hear their ages, 22, 25, getting involved in things like that, this is such a sad story. And we also commend the police for able to, find these people, and we hope that they find the others too.
Who was the Kirikiri?
The young man, yes, a Nigerian youth. His name was withheld. Said he spent 10 years at the Kirikiri Medium Correctional Center while awaiting trial for attempted stealing. So what happened was that he walked into a shop, said life was difficult for him at the time, walked into a shop and attempted to steal some cash from the counter when the woman cut him. And then the mob, gathered, and thankfully the woman refused them to harm him and took him to the police station. So by the time they took him to prison, before he could say Jack Robinson, 10 years had passed while he was awaiting trial. Thankfully, there's this non-governmental organization, Anchor Heritage Initiative, that carry out these prison aids. They were able to get him out. So he was, giving, he was addressing inmates at the Elisha Correctional Center, Osun State, and he was telling them that for those of them that are still in that place, they should not lose hope. This is a time for them to learn certain skills that will help them in life, that God has saved him. He was able to learn how to play musical instruments. He was able to learn how to be a photographer. Now he's a active photographer and is making a living. So they shouldn't just waste their lives in prison. By the time they get out, they are back to square one. They should use that as an opportunity to gain life skills that would help them when they come out. It was
moving on quickly now. Fantastic. Vanguard Convention, 16 APC governors in Make or Mar meeting. Respond to killings, kidnappings in Niger. Buhari orders military. Repairs. Lagos to shut Marine Bridge, Dokwemu Road for 3 months. 2023, what stands Osinbajo out? Says report. Picture here of Vanguard Personality of the Year. Out of 30, we have just 5 women. But it's all good. All right, which story jumps at you?
Yes, the president, given all the kidnappings and killings that's been happening recently, especially in Niger State. We recall last week we were talking about large number, 20-something people just killed, abducted, and things like that. And so he sent a directive to the defense headquarters and said that they must respond robustly, to this issue. And they had put some of the strategies in place to make sure that the military can do that. But has also asked, he, of course, sympathized with the communities and with Niger State, and has asked that security is a responsibility for every member of the community, and only through solidarity and cooperation with law enforcement agencies can we defeat the problems finally. So the president, in short, is saying that we're asking the military to do what they would militarily do to handle this issue, but also as a people and as a community, we need to work hand in hand with law enforcement agencies.
So Lagos State to be shut. Okay.
Go ahead.
Lagos State to be shutting some parts of Marina Bridge, partially from Monday 17th, I think that's today, to Saturday, April 2nd, 2022. They said they're going to be carrying out emergency repairs and works on the infrastructure. They're also going to be shutting down some parts of Dokwemu, so they'll be diverting traffic on Dokwemu Road in Agege area of the state from 10 p.m. on Friday, January 21st, for rehabilitation. And they are appealing, saying that the routes for diversion are going to be motorable. They are going to have a lot of LASMA people who will be directing traffic. And we should just be patient, and they will sort out the routes for us.
I want to take the story of pension. So the pension, in Vanguard, the story showed that the gap between pension in states and federal government is widening, being that the federal government has a tight grip, but states have their independence to remit or not remit pensions. The federal government is paying 10% while deducting also in addition from all the federal government civil servants. But the state governments, some states are implementing, some states are not implementing. Specifically, they highlighted Niger State, who they said has been deducting, did not remitted their deductions, and did not do the counterpart funding that should come from the states, which puts some states civil servants at the risk of not having any pension by the time they retire. So now I know that there's a proper pension scheme that protects federal government. I wish we can have such scheme to also protect civil servants within the states, to be sure that all their pension is being remitted in accordance to the law.
And they get it as at when due.
When they actually resign.
The Nigerian Tribune is our last paper. Let's find a story of not taking corruption. We were saints compared to today's politicians, says IBB.
Interesting.
Convention, how APC may decide presidential chairmanship aspirants' fate. Serap writes Buhari seeks a copy of the agreement with Twitter. Uneasy calm hits aviation sector over the lopsided appointments. PDP governors meet in Port Harcourt today. Biafra court grants Kanu 3 days to canvass for fresh bail in terrorism charge. Ekiti 2022, PDP reconciliation moves suffer setback. Finally, 2023, how Osinbajo will perform if empowered, says ITRL.
Yes, so our former military president, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, has said that they were saints compared to the corruption that was done then was done by saints compared to what we have now. He says that he had taken someone. He said he had sacked a governor for misappropriating 300,000 naira. And now we hear people who steal 2 billion, 3 billion, and still we don't hear anything about them. And he says that he had given an idea on how to attack corruption at source. But because the idea came from him, nobody wants to listen, nobody wants to hear it. And he talked about, he said recently a judge talked about the corruption that happens in the legal system because they are poorly remunerated. And he says that's an example of how you can attack corruption. You go to the source, and it's important to have a free economy where you don't need licenses for some of the things where people think, government thinks that, oh, because I've done this for you, you need to do me a favor in return. So like he talked about examples like the Bureau de Change. You don't need to go to CBN to get foreign exchange. You can just go to Bureau de Change. And this is one of the things he's proud of, that even Obasanjo, Yar'Adua and Obasanjo also practiced it in the administration, but called it different things. So
okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So recently, a comedian, Mr. Ime Okon, a.k.a. Okon Lagos, has called on Nigerians to pay attention to the boy child. According to him, specifically said that young boys are plucking off eyes and body parts of young women just to drive Benz. He's saying quite a lot of attention should be paid to these young ones. According to him, also, he said that back in the days, when you talk about ritualists, you think of older men, you know, they come in and they appear like, this one looks like a ritualist. You know, you're scared of. But now, they're young boys. All these little, tiny little boys are all there plucking off eyes just because they want to drive the latest Benz, wear the best jewelry, you know, and carry the best of the latest phones. That we must fix the boy child. And we've talked about this issue of boy child on the show quite a few times. But I think we need to do more because parents, their teenagers are growing up and they're seeing the pressure from all sides, from social media, from family, from friends, their parents' friends, you know, and they're comparing and contrasting, why doesn't daddy drive this? Why don't we have this, you know? And they're thinking to themselves that they have that responsibility also to make wealth. Young boys feeling like I must show my girlfriend that I have, you know? So there's a lot of pressure on this boy child. And what are we doing? What can we begin to do right now? Because lots of people get stories here every day of people plucking eyes just to make ritual money and then become rich. What are your thoughts? You'd like to call us on 081-270-53687. You can also call us on 091-390-76948. You can send us messages on YouTube and Facebook. We'll be happy to read your messages. BC, would you like to start on this matter?
Okay.
Ritual cleaning amongst young boys.
Yeah, so I like the fact that the comedian says we should pay attention to the boy child. But I'll also go further to ask what sort of attention should we pay to the boy child? And why should it be just the boy child? Because I know that for a boy to want to impress is because there's a girl he wants to impress. All these people who steal money, politicians and all that, at the end of the day, what do they do with the money? They use it to buy houses for chicks and big society ladies. So at the end of the day, it's still the woman, exactly, it's still the women that they want to impress. Now, what sort of attention? Because I know that sometimes you hear parents put a lot of pressure on their children. Is it not your friend that is doing this? Is it not your friend that is buying their parents a car? Is it not your friend that is buying their parents a house? The girlfriend on the other corner is putting pressure. Is it not your friend that is buying the girlfriend an iPhone? Is it not your friend that is doing this one for this one? Why can't you do this one? So what sort of attention do we pay? How do we go back to that point where we begin to teach the essence of hard work, the essence of integrity, the essence of waiting for your time? How do we get back to that place? Because if you're saying pay attention to the boy child or the girl child, they are going back into the society that places premium on what you have. So how do we balance it from the side of the parents and the society? So if we tell ourselves, among ourselves now, we are young women raising children, that we ensure that we focus on the tenets of hard work, consistency, ability to find ingenuity and work towards it, no matter how long it takes, just be persevere and wait till the end. And I tell the same thing to my son, you tell the same to your son, you tell the same. We build a community of people who value that integrity and hard work. But if we do not continue it in the other families, they will still go into the society and meet the same thing where everybody is applauding who has what more than the other person.
All right, so pressure is real.
It is.
Pressure, we all feel that pressure. And when a teenager, a young boy, is faced with that pressure to impress, or pressure to help his family, you maybe from a poor home, and you see how much your mother, your father are struggling.
Suffering.
And you're seeing boys that say, hey, do this, you can get some money, and so you take your family out of poverty, you know. There's a rationale behind it. It's not like somebody actually wants to go and kill somebody. I need money. Sometimes it's for noble reasons. Others is for selfish or greedy reasons. But that pressure, how does a boy manage pressure in this kind of situation?
So the pressure, honestly, is because a man's value is determined by what he can provide.
Exactly.
Yeah. And children, when they're growing up, all children, when they're growing up, they see it and understand it quickly. They see how a rich man or a rich father is better respected than a man or father that doesn't have money. Or they see their counterparts who are musicians and athletes earning so much money and they're getting this love and attention from women. And they feel, okay, the only difference is that he has money and I do not. So the thing we need to do is what we're doing now. We're sitting down at the table and talking about it, asking parents to also bring up their children and tell them what's important. Your value is in your character. That is your integrity, what you're ready to do. It's not about cheating people. It's not about killing people. It's not about lying about people. Your character gets you more respect than what you have. So when we need to explain to them that when the person has money, it's not just because the person owns or has money. It's because they had worked and they had earned it. So it's earned money, and so, you get the benefits of working hard. Now, we also need to talk about this materialism that, as a society, that we worship. They are watching us and they are seeing corrupt politicians get away with stealing money. And they are thinking, okay, that means anything I do, as long as I do not get caught, it's fine. So, when they say what goes around comes around, as adults, as the older ones, as the elders in the society, we think that our own bad behavior, it's okay. No one can call us, can call us and tell us what to do. We can get away with it. What happens is that we are bringing up a generation of people who think crime is fine. Yes, you may not be plucking eyes. You may not be,
stabbing backs.
You may not be on social media trying to do like fraud or financial fraud, but are you stealing money that is meant to be for a community, for their hospitals, for their education? The children are watching. Yeah. They are watching their parents, where two of us are in the same class. My father happens to be a big man in the office. My dad is not the big man. And he sees your father making so much money from being corrupt. And he's telling himself, when I grow up, I don't want to be like my father. I want to be like this person's father who is a corrupt person. And they'll find different things at their level. So this is what is happening. This conversation, okay, sorry, you need to go. This conversation is not a conversation of only calling the boys out. Yes, that's important. We tell them what they're doing is wrong, but we need to change our own behavior. Absolutely. We need to rethink what it is that we're worshiping, what it is that we have put on a pedestal, the sort of people that we give respect to. And it is in what we do, not only what we say, that the boys will see what is important and begin to work that way.
Right, so now, I think the comedian says that was also important. That back then, if you know about money rituals, are older men, but these little boys are actually cutting body parts. The cruelty in this is what I want us to discuss when we come back after this break. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're talking about raising the boy child based on the comedian's recommendation that we must pay attention to the boy child. But there's the issue of, yes, there's been so much focus on girl child, and we're saying let us divert that energy towards the young boys. That's a given. Now, but the cruelty in cutting body parts for ritual, that is, I need to understand what that is about. I'm not saying you have the answers, but I would really like to have a ritualist come and tell me, what are you using the body parts for? Are you sacrificing it? What exactly is the use of somebody's body parts? What is the connection with wealth, with money? And because sometimes if you bring these things alive, we have a better clarity. What you don't understand, you once you demystify it, you can be able to have a better understanding of it. So, in your thoughts, the cruelty of this, how do we get to this point where people can actually cut off somebody's breasts, somebody's private parts because he wants to make money?
So the first thought that came to my head is a Yoruba proverb, "Ayeti dayo daju." That is, the world has become a world of heartless people. It is that heartless, I don't care. I want to make money, I don't care. And people are willing to do whatever it takes. This money, I must make it. Whatever it will cost me, I will make the money. That is the mindset that has led to this level of carnage and this level of inhuman behavior. So, in spiritual terms, you spill blood, you cut a covenant, and usually the more painful your sacrifice is and the more huge your sacrifice is, then the more commitment you're getting from whoever you're making the sacrifice to. So they have their spiritual laws guiding this. And I think that people follow testimonies. So we've seen testimonies of people that do this and they got wealthy. And so they are sharing their gospel. And we are going to the place where every time you hear of Christianity or Islam, people just push all the bad pastors and all of that. I feel that here is where it starts. Mariam touched on society. BC touched on parenting. And I believe both of them have a lot to do. That every human being has a responsibility to legitimately be the best of themselves and then share their success story. Because what we are seeing is the result of those who did money rituals, share their success story and lead people into what they're doing. There are several legitimate opportunities for wealth that we don't share. Of course, we have this. It's not just wealth as in money. It is the lifestyle of luxury and flaunting and show off that is the problem. It's not the food to eat. Of course, some will tell you that we are hungry. In most cases, those that you see that are killing people is not for hunger. It is for show off and flamboyant lifestyle. So we must dial it down back to what is really important for our society. Everybody that has known a way, show people what the way is. We need more teachers. We need more preachers. We need more people sharing their story, more people mentoring. Because when you don't mentor, the evildoers are mentoring your children for you.
Let me take this call. Olufemi from Abuja has been holding for a while. Olufemi, are you there? Hello, Olufemi, are you there? Olufemi, are you there? You're listening to the TV, not me. Hello? So the issue of drug abuse, sometimes, because when I remember when we were attacked here in TVC, and the guy that hit my face, I mean, I remember the look on his face. It wasn't rational. He was almost under the influence. You could tell he was looking like
wild,
like, hitting.
Anything, I'm going to do anything.
He wasn't looking like a human being. He was looking like somebody that was ready. So I was almost faced with an animal that looked like a human being ready to, to attack me. He slapped my face. He didn't care. He hits me again. I'm thinking, oh my goodness. I'm not talking to somebody I can actually reason with. Now listen,
why are you not on the same level at that time.
So I could say that drug
also plays
a huge role in these people saying, you know what, it keeps them under the influence to actually be able to cut somebody up.
Yes, Mariah, so there's this link between drug abuse and being able to inflict pain without feeling it. So at the point that you're getting that fleeting high, based on external substances, you're not in your normal senses. So you they rape their sisters. You can rape your sister.
They're not feeling what human beings feel.
Exactly. They are on another level. And if we really want to solve this problem, we need to still tackle the issue of drugs. We hear secondary schools now, you see people, locking around the corner, they are smoking, they are taking drugs, they know the names of all the drugs, they are taking it. We cannot take that, you cannot take ritualism away if we do not handle drugs. So it's all about everything that's happening at the same time in the society that we need to start taking one at a time. And what I also realize is a lot of us have not understood how to cope when difficulties arise. So they find a way to, push, either they suppress the pain, push it away, and look for something else. No resilience. So, when we're growing up, we'll go outside, we'll play, we'll bruise ourselves. We're building resilience. Unfortunately, the children we are raising these days, out of so much protection, they don't have the skills to build resilience. And so when issues happen, the next thing is, what's the short way, the shortcut for me to get this? How do I not work so hard and get the results that people who have worked 50 years are getting at the same time? That's where we landed.
Let me take this call from Hassan, and I come to Miriam. Hassan, are you there? Oh, we lost Hassan.
Sorry.
So we've talked about the issue of drug abuse, but based on what the comedian is saying, we want to, just like and what Tokwe also said, it's not about food, money to eat. It's the money to show off. Opulence. Now, let me come to the issue of government, because there are people on social media, it's their right to show now, because they're busy to tell you, it's my money now, what is it? If I want to show, I want to show. But this showing off is communicating different messages, mixed messages to young people. Some are saying like, well, oh, nice. But young people are thinking, one person has this kind of house, cars, driving,
what is she doing? What is he doing?
They're constantly make them looking perfect. I know someone that, Mariah, you can never find me not fresh.
Never to be caught off fresh.
It's always fresh, and that young person will see that kind of person and think, so I must also meet up to be looking fresh all the time. So, in our right to express ourselves, are we miscommunicating to young people? Or is it my responsibility to caution myself the way I post things on social media because of other children? I mean, do I have to take that responsibility on me?
See, it's okay to show off if that's your style. But it's also okay for society and to be able to question how you got where you are. Because it tells a story. This person, everyone, when you shove, many people start to dig, start to ask questions. They want to know how it worked for you, so I can do it. Many people that used to read law, engineering, accounting, it was because they saw those people living a better life than those that didn't read those courses. And so there was a generation of people that went that way. Now we see lots of musicians, athletes. It's because, these are the sort of things you need to do to get that sort of money. You see people going that way. Then now we also have a group of people who are flaunting money and we can't find the source of their wealth. And when you question too much, they call you a jealous person. So when you don't do that, what you have now left is for the children to come up with different ideas of what it could be, or for someone else to now take over your narrative and tell them what it is you are doing. You have not given the person the permission, but because you're not saying anything, someone will come up, will spin a story around how you came about your wealth and sell it to people like this. Desperate young people. Not even desperate, just young people trying to find their feet. I find that boys they're quick they want to become men so quickly. They want to do good, they want to show it. And for them to become a man is, what can I provide? How do I'm a man. That looking fresh is also, I'm a man. This is how I should look. But are they getting an example of how to get there from the right people? Or are they just getting it from different sources? When we were growing up, I remember there used to be these movies, Nigerian movies especially, where they will show how people were making money from sacrificing people and putting them in cupboards. And then they will open it, and then money will come
falls out.
Yes, at the end, it will show that the person is sad that they had to sacrifice a loved one or something, or the person dies. But you've also told the story that it's possible. That when you lock someone in a cupboard and for some reason and you close, after 3 days, money starts. So you've taught someone that it's possible. So, that is another thing where society has to send a different kinds of story. And I like what you said. We need to meet this ritualist. Does it really work that way? Is it just a lie that we're selling to young people and then getting them in trouble?
Exactly. Let me take this call from Val. Val, are you there? Hello, Val, are you there? From Abuja. Hello?
Whoa! Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
We can hear you. You're live on TV.
Hello,
Go
good
ahead,
morning.
please.
Good morning.
Morning. We can hear you.
I'm Valentine calling from Abuja. First time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Listening to the TV.
So, on this particular issue, actually, the main thing there is these people, they actually do all these ritual killings and take off this body part just for show-off lifestyle. It's not there, and it's because the society has made it in such a way that the show-off lifestyle is like a useful lifestyle in the society, it's an acceptable lifestyle in the society. So that is why these people get desperate and commit all sorts of nonsense.
I agree with you. Wow.
Now, I wish we could have a start to finish story. You know how, a family that, a suspected family that they did rituals to make money. We'd like to know how it ended. That story, but nobody ever wants to say that story.
But always, we know that always the end is always bad.
Bad, we know.
But they don't recruit you with the end. They recruit you with the beginning. So the truth of the story is, I'm into real estate. Why? I heard the testimony of real estate billionaires who said they hustled, were legitimate, they didn't steal, they didn't rob anybody, they provided a solution and they made money. And I bought into their testimony. Yeah. And I'm sharing my own testimony and saying that I'm not stealing, I'm doing the work. So if every human being that we have going through the way legitimately takes the time to tell somebody else how they are doing it, we will recruit more positively than negatively. Sadly, even on YouTube, we're seeing many of them saying that, let's ask our politicians how they made their money. Let's ask these people how they made their money. Because we have so many negative examples of people that you cannot put a finger to the legitimate way they got their money. There are so many of them in society that people feel like anyhow, all I need to do is make enough money to bribe everybody and pay my way out of being held liable. So as a society, we need to do more in bringing justice to questionable wealth. We also need to encourage and support legitimate wealth. And we also need to do things like appreciate people who are going through the process slowly. It doesn't have to be, it's not the magic, it's not the magic wand. It's not, you don't in 1 year, okay, I'm not a billionaire. Last year I was poor, this year I'm a billionaire. And everybody starts clapping their hand and saying, praise God.
And also,
let me add,
We're going to quick break. Okay. We'll come back and continue the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this issue of ritualists. Recently, a popular or a suspected ritual killer in Ogun State was saying that they refer to human heads as balls, the hearts as transformer, and the hands as fans. So that's a code name they use to get these human parts from people. And obviously, they sell them because we're trying to have a conversation during the break. What exactly is it used for? And there's a school of thought that is used to actually to get favorable results from the Yahoo business.
Or whatever business.
Or whatever business it is that you're doing. There's another school of thought saying that those rituals somewhat bring out money for you spiritually. We don't know how that happens. But as I said, we're very interested in knowing how this works. And if you know a ritualist, please let them definitely link us up with the one ritualist. I have a call-up. I'll come to you, but link us up with some because we need understanding of what exactly is happening because a lot of people are falling into this net. Let me take this call from Olushuji. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
I can't hear you, but I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Really, the truth of it is this: we have a system that a lot of things have gone wrong. We live in an oppressive society. I think the buck stops at the door of the government. The people, we the people actually make up the government. You see, someone that used to be a carpenter or an artist and becomes a counselor, and the next thing he has an hotel, you wonder how much is
salary
the salary of the counselor. Then the others, the younger ones, they are looking at all this, and I see an 18-year-old boy striving to buy a 10 million naira car. I wonder.
How?
So these are the reasons. And when it comes to money rituals, the truth of it, killing people not what gives you money. Is the fact that the people that want to enroll you want your soul. So when you commit something that will make you not to turn back. A lot of them are into crimes, different kind of crimes, kidnapping, armed robbery. In my town, I'm from Militia, where you have Babcock University. It's a Yahoo estate. So you see, proud to say we are Yahoo boys. Even the foreigners, the white guys that you think they are coming, most of them are wise, their government enlightened them so they are not really making money from that internet fraud. They are not making much money from internet fraud. They are making money from other criminal ways. And it's our government, the leaders, the people that are supposed to be role models are not setting good example. Somebody becomes a senator, and within 4 years, he has fleet of cars with minimum of 200 million range. What is the remuneration of a senator?
Thank you very much, Olusoji. So obviously that is a major issue.
Yeah, let me quickly add that the problem we have, and it's become a Nigerian problem, which we are seeing now, the trickle effect on the youth, is the problem of greed. You are greedy. You are no longer comfortable with having a normal life, living well, being able to afford basic medical care and all that. You are now greedy, and you are seeking for validation from the outside. You want people to respect you based on what you have, and so you can do whatever it takes. There was somebody who was working with me recently, and every time she comes into a place, she wants people to respect her. She's in a hurry to get respect. I'm like, Auntie, calm down. Why are you rushing to get respect? You respect yourself. That's the first thing. When you respect yourself, when the time is right, people will see you and respect you. Now, if she continues with that sort of mindset, she will do whatever it takes to make sure that, okay, probably they are greeting this person because this person has so and so. Let me go and do whatever it takes to get it so that I'll get that greeting. Why are we in a hurry to seek validation from the outside? When we are educating our children, let us make them believe in themselves and love themselves enough to understand that there is time for everything. When time for respect comes, you would have earned that respect, and it will be everlasting. But when we leave everybody seeking to, because I came into this place, they greeted this person in a certain way, they gave me that. Why are you rushing to be greeted in that way? Have you earned it?
It's easy for us to say, point politicians. But there are different types of ritualists. There's the commercial ritualists for businesses. People do rituals so that the businesses can go. Yes. There is what's the other one?
Mariah, I was going to mention, there was a time we used to hear of footballers who were already footballers, earning money in dollars and euros, and then we would hear that they had a baba that they had to go to mix things for them so that they will be picked or so that they will score more favor. So whatever it is that you're doing, even if you're doing legitimate work, legitimate business, sometimes we would hear that there are some Christians or some pastors or some imams who would go again to this ritualist to cook something for them so that it becomes
more crowd in their church or in their
so you know what, Maria, this thing has to be, we need to sit down with some ritualists.
You see, you need to say politicians. Well, we are all part of this. Let me continue to come back to you, Mariam. Temitope, are you there? Oh, I lost that call. Sorry.
So there's something that the campaign for Save Vultures are doing. Where we've always heard, they're using vultures for sacrifice, they're using them for ritual. They have gone into the bushes to meet these people, to ask them why, what is happening, and can we have different options? Because when you take these vultures away, this is what happens. We need to sit down with these ritualists and have a roundtable conversation.
How do you find them?
What is this for? Because not only are they killing human beings, they're also going to dig up bodies and cemeteries. Recently, we've read stories of people who go to cemeteries, dig up bodies. Why is there such a increase in the demand for bodies, and what exactly is it? But how does it change into this sort of money? And then is ritualism, is it a crime? Does the government look at it as a crime? can a ritualist say, well, I'm just a ritualist that does something not of the, body and blood of human beings, and I am just practicing my traditional, because there's that one, I'm just practicing my traditional beliefs. Right. What is it? How do we see it in Nigeria?
Let me take this call from Elijah. Elijah, are you there?
I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Good morning, the ladies. Good morning to Mariah. Good morning to Miriam, and to every other person. Me, mine, in absentia. Actually, I would have loved to call everybody's names, but really I cannot remember. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
And I really want to start by appreciating what you are doing. I watch your program almost every day, and it's enlightening. To contribute to this program, to the topic being discussed, I want to start by saying that the problem is not new. We seem to promote negativity more than positivity in Nigeria. That's the trend. From our movies to our lifestyle, it's a very, very big issue. We promote negativity, and we've mentioned instances about them. Just last week, I think, on one of the programs, there was a case of somebody who watched a Nigerian movie and then got into crime. So this is a very big problem. It's not just only the leaders, but we as the followers, we are part of the problem, and we encourage this in society. So to solve the problem, we need to turn it around. Instead of promoting negativity, we have to promote positivity. We have to promote it in our movies. We have to promote it in schools. We need role models more. We preach more negative news than positive things, and so we have to turn it around. And to this end, I would like to introduce, I'm part of an organization called Positive Nigeria. We are like an online media platform founded in 2015, committed to good news, positive and constructive journalism on the progress and excellence culture of Nigeria and Nigerians globally. We aim to positively inspire, educate, and redefine the standards of the Nigeria's value-based system. So this is an organization that promotes positivity, and we need things like this. So our website is www.positivenigeria.com.
And producers are listening, and they are learning. I'm very surprised that producers are allowing you to just I guess you pay them the market.
But then it's an NGO promoting positive.
All right, we have to run. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue. You wanted to say something?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Please, I wanted to say that any money made at the back of bloodshed or hurting another human being, any money made with that negativity, it's going to disrupt the circle of life. It's going to bring hurt and pain back to you. There's something, Indians call it karma. In life, what you sow, you will reap. It would always come back. And we must always push that as well. That when you sow it, it might seem like you're killing one person, but it would come back to you. There is money, but it will come with no peace, and it will come with no joy, and it will come without lasting happiness. And once you know that you are entering, you're sowing your soul, you're sacrificing your soul to the devil. I think it might seem like we're preaching fear, but sometimes that's the best way to let people understand that what you're doing is not just wrong.
It will come back.
It will come back to you.
All right, let's go on a break. I think that's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, move on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, 2023 is around the corner, and lots of people have started declaring their presidential ambition. Recently, the former governor of Lagos State had expressed his intention to the president. He's yet to tell the rest of Nigerians, according to him. Then a young lady, Khadija Okunu, also recently, Okunu Lamidi, also recently declared her intention. And then the governor, I think of Ebonyi State, also declared. And I'm seeing that more people are declaring. So now that we're in the season of declarations, we'd like to hear Nigerians, like, who would you like, or what's the kind of candidate would you like to see as we approach 2023? Because there are different variables that are being offered. There is the experience, the antecedents. There's the young. There's the fresh woman. You know, there is the somebody who is different, who is from there's the tribal angle to where it's in the southeast deserves a place as a presidency. So there are different variables that are being considered, and I'd like to hear Nigerians. What are your thoughts on this? Who are you thinking about? What are you thinking about concerning 2023? Do you have your PVCs? Are you excited about the options that have been provided? And what other people do you think should be considered, or should consider putting their self forward? Somebody was saying that addition of the current president of the African Development Bank should also come forward, you know. Or that I would have loved to see a Tony Elumelu at this time come forward. It would be great to see different faith. Let just people come forward. But what are your thoughts? I'd like to hear your thoughts. You can call us on 09139076948, 08127053687. You can also send us messages on YouTube and Facebook. We'd like to. I think our Twitters are on now.
Yeah.
Let's go to Twitter. Back on Twitter. Yeah, let's go. Yes, YourView, hashtag YourViewTVC. So please send your tweets to hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. So, ladies, what do you think? Are you excited about the options that are coming on the table? And we're hoping for more. Yes, Dr. Let me start with you.
Last week we had like 3, Chukwukamoye, someone who's been on our show before, also declared for presidency, aside from Khadija. There's this other man that was a director in CBN. I don't know, his name just skipped me right now.
Mogalu.
Mogalu is also still in the run. So I'm happy about the new faces I'm seeing. For me, I feel that Nigeria is at the point where we need a mixture of someone who understands the politics and someone who will drive the right policies. Not one
or the other.
One will not achieve what we want to do at all. We cannot rely on the experience of a politician alone. Neither can we rely on the mindset of a technocrat alone. I feel that we need a ticket that is unusual. We need a ticket that combines maybe the presidency as someone who is a technocrat, the vice presidency as I would like a technocrat for a change, because all through our democracy so far, we've had more people in the political space. And we would like to have someone that is a technocrat, someone that understands these are the right policies. Yet we know that if we ignore the politics, we would have more crises on our hands after his tenure. So it's important that we find strike that balance.
There are technocrats turned politicians too.
Yes.
There's somebody who has seen that, you know, he has been a technocrat for many years, and so is that the best of both worlds, would you say? Or what do you think? I mean, let me come to Mariam. Who would you like? What would you like, as we're seeing different declarations? What are you thinking in your mind? Are you excited about the options that are out there? Are you hoping more people will come forward for presidency?
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping more people will come forward. As much as I would like fresh minds, fresh face, fresh ideas, I think our Nigerian story and our Nigerian situation is about experience. So it would be very important for this person to be fresh as well as experienced. And I also understand that the way Nigerian politics works is that sometimes technocrats come into this space and the politics of it overwhelms them, or you know, takes away from the work that they are willing to do. I also need someone who is very, so if you're experienced and then you are what's the word now, really confident and ready to, you know, and ready to make sure that what is right is being passed. So I don't want someone who will lead us who is wishy-washy, who is easily turned around, who listens to too many people. Right now we have a direction, and I'm looking for a leader who has that sort of, you know, mindset of we have a serious work on our hands, and this is where we're headed.
So we have Governor Yahaya Bello and even Dele Momodu. Yeah. He has also declared.
True.
So these are people. So with
Mariah
the numbers.
Declare.
So we have Governor Yahaya. Recently, the vice president of I think the vice president of some country was recently. It was in the papers today. I can't remember which country. Came to see him, and I'm thinking, bros, you're already talking to presidents. So let me come to BC.
Okay, so Nigeria is heterogeneous in nature. We are large. We cannot easily compare ourselves with smaller countries who have been able to put their acts together. And I'd like us not to just focus on, the presidency that will be happening in 2023, but let's continue in the line of the issues we've had so far, which is about restructuring and ensuring that we start practicing true federalism. So when we sort that out, where we know that the regions are strong, the regions are able to control themselves, control their resources, whoever is at the top will now be able to be more effective. Whatever you put in will show. So now, if you bring a young person, no matter how young and vibrant you think you are, and you put them at that center, it's not like a state government, it's federal right now. There are a lot of intricacies that happen that you may not even be able to handle or control. And before you know it, it seems like the person is not working. You're not feeling the impact of that work. For me, I would like to see someone who has a vision, someone who has track record in their private business, someone who has been able to, grow a company from start to a great place, has a success story that we can see how you've started small and you have grown, you've built, you have empowered people. Someone who understands how to, carry people along with the work that they do. So we see on one hand that this person has a flourishing enterprise or company or business and all that. And if you're able to handle that at that level, you will be able to handle other things. So I want that. I don't just want us to focus on, okay, probably want a young person, a fresh face, someone who is just coming from university and hasn't really done anything. And then, I don't want that. Right, so but let's not forget that we need to restructure. Our constitution needs serious amendments so that the work whoever is going to be at the top will be more effective.
Okay, so I think you've reminded us of the fact that I think based on something we also said here repeatedly, that in the past few years we realized more than ever that the president is very, very small in the scheme of things. Yes, really, it's beyond the presidency. That we put so much focus on who the president is, when the real problem we have a local government chairman. That's where that's the grassroots. We need a stronger legislature. We need stronger lawmakers. So we need a stronger judiciary. So these are the real factors. So when we put too much energy on who becomes president, we lose focus. I think that you're right in the sense that we're hoping and seeking for true federalism. But who has the guts, the strength, and tenacity to ensure, to drive true federalism, to drive this true federalism we seek? Because people have tried to do it. I know that Jonathan tried to start the process by this national conference. But unfortunately,
have they really tried?
No, they tried to have a conference to give us a direction. And there was what they call it. The confab report. That was submitted and never implemented. So he made an attempt. This president also came on the back that I will restructure. But unfortunately, it hasn't been done. So there is something extremely difficult in restructuring, and we need somebody who has that political will to push it through. And who does? Because Nigeria is a very complex.
It is so.
But in seeing that complexity, do we need somebody with totally different mindset that doesn't see the way you've been seeing it? Like from a different stock.
A school of thought, online here is of the opinion that why are we having the conversation when everybody knows they should go to Southeast? So like there is the conversation like that the people of the Southeastern people are feeling like we haven't had the opportunity to steer the ship. My first opinion with leadership shouldn't be about region or ethnicity, but we live in Nigeria. Hello, we live in Nigeria where campaign carries your religion and your ethnicity. But so it's like saying that you are trying to ignore what is in the forefront, is right in our faces. So people are saying there must be sensitivity to segments of the country. And the moment you mention Southeast, I'm sure the North Central to come out and say, we are not Central, we are not Northeast, we are not Middle Belt. We are Middle Belt. Yes. So
Mariam too says we are
Middle Belt. Mariam is from the Middle Belt.
We are Middle Belt.
It's a totally specific area. So I believe
we are not now. Not is not.
East. The Southeast. Jonathan, former President Jonathan, was from the South, not Southeast. So at the end of the day, people will start bringing up that as well. I believe our focus should be on if anybody is going to help us solve the economical challenges of this country.
Can we
wait. Can I let me come in there. To look at the arguments that you're saying, which I think is quite reasonable.
It is.
before we start analyzing, proving permutations and combinations, let Southeast go first.
Yes, I agree.
That's what we're saying. That okay, before we start analyzing, should we competence here? Is it old? Is it young? Is it woman?
Let's find a competent person from that.
Yes, let Southeast go first. After they now do their own turn. They will not start refresh. Now look and say, we don't care where they're from. Just bring somebody.
Yeah.
No.
Middle belt will say they must also go.
No. I think it's the other way around.
Okay.
Competence first, experience, and all those things first before we start thinking of different. Let me explain to you, because when we say let them do their own first, we're talking 4 years or 8 years of Nigerian lives and experiences and insecurity that we're battling with and things like that. I want this person to be, I don't care where you're from, God knows. I just want that person to be the right person to understand these issues and be able to work it for us. So I think that comes first, and then all the other. So the people that will come out, these are people with experience, with tenacity, with the will to do what is right, with the, they have everything, with the influence and to do what is right.
Honey, it's easier to say we want competence. It's easier to say we want someone who has the right vision and all of that when other people who feel disgruntled because they have not been given a chance in the one Nigeria not to have a chance. It's very easy to be on that side of the divide. The people of the Southeast are saying...
I've never run for president.
No, I know.
I'm the Nigerian too.
So the people of the Southeast are saying, are you saying of all of us there is no competent person? There's no person with a vision. Give us that chance. We balance it. Then we can refresh the country. If peradventure you see that we have not done the work we have promised we are going to do. I think for true... is it federal character principle? We should give them a chance.
Yes, wait. Let me pause that statement.
Okay, pause it.
Nobody's giving anybody any chance.
Yes,
People are taking or demanding or not.
They should take their chance.
No. So nobody's giving. Nobody's serving it to you. Everybody is saying, no, wait, listen now. That was the party. That was the party.
The two parties.
No. No, we are North and South.
Yes.
So that was the party. It's not our constitution. Wait, this is party constitution.
Okay.
We're not talking about Nigerian constitution.
Okay.
Parties are saying North, South, whatever. That's their party.
Gentlemen's agreement.
Yes, that's the party.
They should honor it.
So we are saying, therefore,
as Nigerians,
I have to take this course and hold it for a while.
They should honor it.
Good morning, Lawal. Are you there? Hello, Lawal.
Hello.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, thanks. My contribution is very simple. You're one of the kind of candidates that I would prefer. Am I correct?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Your candidate you would prefer,
Yes.
Now, I would prefer a candidate that will be bold enough in this country to say the truth to the federal government that what is the situation with the case of Wadume, that kidnapper that killed the policeman that went to arrest him, and he was rescued by the army, and the army refused to release that man, that captain, and the federal government refused to say anything on that one. I would prefer a candidate that can iron that out. I would donate my car for his campaign. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, so there are different factors here. As I said, there's the factor of competence, experience, and the tribe, the zoning. There are different variables, I've said from the beginning. However, taking the issue of zoning, many people are sentimental to the fact that it should be Southwest's turn. But at the same time, Southeast turn.
Calm down.
And that's the general perception. But there are other things of saying nobody's going to give you that.
You have to fight for it.
You have to be able to lobby. You have to be able to show.
Play the politics of it.
Play the politics and also present a formidable candidate. I'm yet to see one. I'm not somebody who has the real requisite experience and exposure to do it, not just somebody who has been offered.
The political influence to push that.
So for me, we are at that point where there was a time when there was the zoning was done to the Yorubas.
Yes.
All the candidates filled, the candidates that were, the main presidential candidates were Yoruba people. There was a time it was done to the north. So the candidates were northerners. So by virtue of north, west, south, it is expected that interpolitics for equity, it should be done
that way.
to the south.
Yes.
You might not say you want southeast, or you might say, okay, both southeast and south-south, but at least it must go to that south. That is my own opinion in terms of fair play. I have 3 children. If I want to give somebody something, I look at it that, do I have enough to give all 3 of them? If you cannot go around, I'll not give.
Okay, let me take this call. Yeah, Yakub, are you there?
Good morning, Mariah.
Morning. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Mariah, it is simple. For the fact that we are talking about the 2023 election now, it is good to talk about it. And then, Mariah, I want to tell you this. Nobody, I repeat, nobody is going to give you power on a platter of gold.
True.
If you don't get your politics right, you cannot get it. Let me give you a typical example here. The Southeast region, there has been a lot of PDP since 1999.
They've been a lover.
Hello?
What happened?
Oh, I really wanted to hear him. So, I mean, now, PDP also is coming together.
Yes, they are.
They need to also come up with a candidate. But the point is, I want us to leave the region zoning variable.
Okay.
Let's go to youthful. Then we have a woman who, I heard, I listened to her interview on Sunday. I think we're trying to see if she can come on YourView also. She is obviously very passionate about Nigeria, and she's interested. Now, is there any problem in us giving a young person an opportunity? Yes, they don't have the political antecedents. They don't have the political strength or what they call it. There's this thing they call it, this political term they use, the machinery, the political machinery to drive themselves. They need support. They're just saying, listen, I'm interested. I have integrity. I'm very passionate about this country, and I know I can do the job. Give me an opportunity. Why are we not seeing that option? Because this young lady, a lot of people, I think for anything else, she might just break the record of the highest votes for a female candidate, because the last one only had 2. She's likely to get way more than 2. Yeah. So the point is, why are we not seeing her as an option? Or why should people see her as an option?
So I guess this is where the conversation about the government you have is the government you deserve. The last election period, we had some young people come out, and I remember one of the party founders of this young group sat down and he said he was pumped and excited to go, but then when people that were supposed to be like support, youth groups were now coming to him, they wanted to see him. So he was just happy that if the youth recognize us, youth to youth, they understand what we're about to do. And they were asking them for money that they did not have, money to do what they needed to do. And all they would have wanted, and that would have been important, is for the youth to go out and speak up and use their vote. So now, that's the sort of, there's one thing to talk and castigate the different options that people have, but then it's another thing to use your card and make a difference. You want a young person, you want a fresh mind. What are you doing apart from just sitting down and just talking about it and calling other people out? A young person like this should, and we do it not, apart from being young, also we talk about women too in politics, where women would say we have the larger number when it comes to numbers. Women are in their largest numbers, but we don't see it reflect at the polls. What is happening? Because it is much more than just sitting down talking about it. Sometimes you may not have the machinery, but do you have the people? Are the people willing to take that step for you? And that's it.
Can you turn the tide? Because we might be thinking everybody's going this way.
Like
but
Obama did.
So you never know.
The people.
So, go ahead.
Mount Rushmore says, it was never zoned to Yorubas. Obasanjo and Ekweme slugged it out for the PDP ticket twice. So thanks for the... Then a female president will serve well, but it's not about that. And someone else is saying Kingsley Moghalu for president.
Why didn't Tony Elumelu come forward? I know he's a...
There's still time. People are still declaring.
Some people are not politicians.
Yeah, please declare.
I'm still going to declare.
I will vote for you,
I'm kidding.
So not declare, but not declaring. What are our core problems that we need to solve?
Okay, wait, let me go on a break, because I want to come. Okay, I have a call first. Good morning, are you there?
Yes,
tweets.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Finally.
Yes, I love Khadija. I love her boldness.
Yes.
However, there are some things I would have wished you would have loved to know. You need to start from the base as a councillor, as a chairman, and then a governor, you develop your political career. People now, you now begin to make impact at your locality. It is at that level of locality, at the base level, people begin to market you. It's your work that will market you. It's from growing you gather experience. It's difficult doing the job of it without experience. Yes, there is a place for competence, there's a place for hard work. But you need the experience that you've grown with to do some kind of job.
Dr. Moyo, I hear that argument a lot. And I'm interested, I had that same argument with somebody on Saturday. And I said, we are almost in a pit, Nigerians. We're struggling to get some fresh air. We have been very frustrated. At this time, if I were a Nigerian, I'll put up all our regular political experience. And for that one, if I was going to vote, I don't care where you come from.
Oh, really?
Donald Trump, for example, didn't have any political career. He came in because he had business. He had something to come say, you know what, I've run a business before. So somebody who has run a business. MK Abiola never had a political experience. He had built wealth. And he said, I'm coming for. So right now, as a Nigerian, I'm not even looking for antecedents. Just come, you are different. Maybe you're a possible candidate. But there's an elephant in the room that we have refused to talk about.
Which is?
We're going to go on a break. When we come back, we'll discuss it. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so before the break, I was talking about the fact that, yes, the former governor of Lagos State has also expressed his intention. And obviously, there are mixed feelings. You know, some say his experience, based on his blueprint in Lagos State, obviously, he has the right experience to actually run for office, and that it's been his lifelong ambition also to run for office. So, and he has a lot of support. I mean, when you talk about political machinery, he has it. Now, there are other parts of the fact that people are saying, that there are different arguments saying, maybe right now we're thinking of something totally new. So in your view, do you think that, why do you think people are not, why do you think that Nigerians, we have that for and against arguments? Let me come to Sokwe, your thoughts on it.
I think there will always be arguments for and against every candidate. Because that's the way election works. There will be people for you, there will be those against you.
Yeah.
That's life.
I'm someone who feels that the entire Southwest has benefited from sort of this leadership of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. That sort of, yes, some people feel like he's overpowering, some people will say that he's insisting on his own people and all of that, but largely there's been a sort of positive cohesion in development that people attribute to him. My only worry is health. We've heard so much about it that maybe he's not in perfect health. If there's an opportunity for him to say, oh, I'm in good health, he's a Nigerian, he's a politician, he's in a party, he has a right to campaign, he has a right to ask that people that he wants to become a president, and he has already declared he's going to go ahead regardless of whether I agree or not. Because I've been coming from the back of our president saying he cannot do
more than 8 hours.
He cannot even do the 8 hours. How can I to do 8 hours? I mean, that's my only concern. And I campaigned for our current president in the first term. Second time I did not campaign. So before anybody started coming.
All right, let me take
so that's the health part I'm a bit concerned about.
Hello, Omolara, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sisters. Okay, so I want to contribute concerning the election thing. For me, good morning, sisters. Good morning. I want to talk about this election because the caller before me was saying, oh, you should have an history in politics before you can be elected. I feel it's wrong. It's wrong. It's total corruption. The people we have that have this political history, what have they given to us for past years? We want people who have experience. If you are a business person and you are done well, let them in. Let people elect them in. We cannot continue this way. Corruption everywhere. I remember when I was in Abuja, when we want to elect, and we called the name. when money was being shared everywhere. Why? And we say they have political history. Give a layman who has succeeded in his business. I believe those people will do well. Enough of all this political history. You want to be, you must start from being a senator, even when they are there. What have they done in their constituency? What have they achieved? What have they impacted in the life of people? So let's forget about all those aspects. Let's put people who have business ideas, people who have succeeded, who are successful, and let them do it zone by zone. Enough of all this there. Why do you feel it's only your tribe or your culture or your ethnic that has oil?
Thank you very much. So in the issue of, thank you very much, I'll come to you, BC. In the issue of health, because I know that Ashwaju recently was, in the last 48 hours, is going to like about Kano, Zamfara, different states. So obviously he's in top health for now, if we want to look at it that way. I know that he went to Zamfara, Oyo, Katsina, Kano, and he's still going around the country for different reasons. But let me come to you, BC, because I'm going to be moving from that conversation to another angle, another variable that we'll not touch on.
All right, so for me, Nigeria needs a strong person, a strong personality, someone who would be able to make decisions and stand by it, not caring of the consequences, so to speak. Not someone who would want to be nepotistic or play towards the gallery, party politics. We need somebody who is going to come in and stand and fight for Nigeria. That's what we need. Having said that, I haven't seen a lot of young people project somebody. So I know that the young people have the will, the power to do anything if they want to do it. They can gather funds on social media if they want to do it. So money is not the problem. I haven't seen that united front from young people, because over on this show, we've been talking about how do we get young people to come and, help us in this country. Till today, we haven't seen somebody that all the youths are, queuing behind to say we're supporting this. Yes, we're supporting this person. We're raising funds on social media. We're raising this, we're raising that. We can raise funds and dash to musicians that already has money. But we cannot raise funds for the things that we need to do. So I haven't seen that. Until we get that right, we'll still be played by these political big heads who have the machinery because they see that we are not united. Anybody has a right to come out and say, I want to be president. And we're going to look at your track record. What have you done so far? While you were a governor, you know that you achieved this, that. People can speak up and say this is what they benefited from that. But going to the federal is a different ball game. Do you have what it takes?
So I was going to go there,
handle it at
because
that time?
The other variable I was going to go into is the fact that the Oshimbajo variable is already in the system. There's another school of thought saying, shouldn't he run? He has not declared. I'm just saying that people are saying, there's a group that are saying that he should also come out to declare, because we're all talking about all the projections towards 2023. And they're saying he's already in the system. He understands exactly, because playing politics in the southwest or southeast is totally different from going to the federal. They are two totally different things. So at least he's worked on the economy. So would he be able to be a better option for Nigerians based on what we're seeing? But
okay, I've seen across the world and different countries, usually the vice president, after his principal's tenure, would just likely run, because it's like a continuation of what we have started, or people have, or he has made he carved a different niche for himself. As with Osinbajo, a lot of people have their feelings for who he can be as an individual, and many people would like to see that. But there's something I'm noticing about this particular atmosphere this time around, that now people are not waiting. We're not hearing politicians say, I did not want to run, but they have been asking me to run, and politicians are coming and say, I want to run. I want to take over from you when you leave. So anyone that's interested has to come out like that. And I like it this way, because tomorrow when you're president, you not give us the, we cannot, there will not have been the excuse of, my supporters made me, I thought about it, I didn't see it until the pastors came and sat down with me and people made me run. Anyone that's interested should come out, and for me, that shows the strength of character. Quickly, at least that's one of the things that you will be strong enough, we have talked bold enough to push for some policies and make sure that it happens. Especially, I'm talking of insecurity here. And I feel that a lot of the things politics had modeled a lot of things that would have worked for us. And I need someone that will be able to stand in spite of political affiliations to push for what is right in Nigeria.
So, the objective of our conversation really was just to hear our thoughts on all the various people that are coming, and all the various angles, of the options that we have, and the various factors that may affect our decision. But eventually, the excitement has started. We're waiting for more parties to come forward. We are missing with more people to come forward. We'd like to see more technocrats. We'd like to see more young people.
A year from
like
the
to see
businessmen.
you know, like to see
Experts.
other politicians. Governor Yahaya Bello, I'm not talking about him.
Yeah.
He is really, I mean,
He's been on this thing. To declare.
Yeah, he was actually one of the first.
Yes,
he's been on this matter. So, but watching him closely, we'll see. I mean, when the games really begin.
He's one of the youngest
we'll
as
he's one
well.
of the youngest, yes,
Politicians.
definitely. So I think it's good. We can wrap up on that.
Is he younger than Khadija?
But no. I think maybe we two should start declaring.
But we still have
we
a
don't
full
declare
year.
for just
And within that full year, we still need to protect
be
ourselves. So we still have a security and economic crisis for the next 1 year before the election. So while we're doing politics, can we ensure...
Campaign starts this year.
I know. The next year is elections. But can the people in charge now, can they focus, our president, our House of Assembly members, can they still ensure they are protecting and pushing laws to preserve us?
They are
politics.
Now they are finishing it, they are not coming back. So they should keep facing Nigeria. While the politicians who want to run for office,
I'm saying that they are not concerned. What Khadija is doing does not affect what Buhari is doing.
Should not.
What Umahi is doing does not.
But does not affect him in any way.
He should do his work. Anyways,
he's trying to clean
up. In a
up
nutshell, the games have started because people are declaring. As I just started, well, I would say Governor Yahaya Bello started last year. You know, he said it. But when Ashwaju now announced, everybody said, the Jagaban has announced. Yeah, let's start announcing. Let's start announcing. But we don't know what these things mean. But we're watching, we're observing, we're seeing how things play out. And we really think like may the best man or woman win at the end of the day. That's the most important thing for Nigerians. Let's go on a break. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.